This is D, and let's dress for life. That's what's up. Vaping is something that individuals are doing at a much increased rate, despite the warnings that are out there. And we'll get to why they ignore the warnings in a little bit. But individuals are vaping, and they're vaping for nicotine. They're vaping for marijuana, and probably some other things that we're not aware of. But whatever the case, why is it that individuals are vaping with these products? Some individuals consider the vaping method as a means of administering their medication. Marijuana has medicinal benefits, individuals would say. And some individuals will actually say that tobacco has medicinal benefits. I remember when we first started doing presentations, and I shared with individuals that one thing that nicotine does is cloud the mind. Individuals said, no, not really. It actually gives me clearer perceptions. And there is truth to that. Individuals have also said, as far as marijuana can help them focus. In fact, there's this brother that I know of who would actually use marijuana to settle his nerves so he could go in the gym and lift weights like he wanted to. Is that the rarity? It probably is the rarity, because for most part, marijuana really does take away a person's motivation. But we'll talk about the side effects in a little bit. But as far as benefits, vaping, whether you're talking about marijuana, whether you're talking about nicotine, vaping is very, very convenient. You're not having to run around looking for a cigarette lighter. Added to that, it doesn't stink up as much as cigarettes and cigarette smoke does. You can find yourself vaping almost anywhere that you cannot smoke a cigarette. But are there disadvantages of vaping? There's so many different disadvantages. Whether it's nicotine, whether it's marijuana. Now let's just hit the nicotine real quick, and then we'll hit the marijuana. As it relates to the nicotine, we have to realize that nicotine is simply not our friend. They're all different types of toxins that are released into the body based on nicotine. Long-term effects of nicotine, fine. Short-term, you may get clarity of mind. Long-term, it actually causes brain retardation. It causes you start losing brain functioning as a result of nicotine. Added to that, you have individuals who actually that I know of, who would actually use nicotine to open their lungs so they could run. What does it do long term? It actually closes the lungs. Vaping actually will cause individuals to have pulmonary issues. They will have lung issues as a result. And the unfortunate thing is, people are becoming younger and younger with these lung issues. These lung issues that are with them not temporarily, but for the remainder of their lives. Now, as it relates to marijuana, we need to hit this real quick. I know we're rolling two things into one, but that's how we're doing it today. I was talking with some guy who called himself a marijuana expert, and he was sharing some really interesting things as it relates to marijuana. Of course, there is a medicinal purpose to marijuana. Think about this though. There are some significant disadvantages to marijuana. The marijuana plant has 5 leaves. So just imagine one leaf is being THC and another leaf being CBD. Now, what CBD stands for, I don't remember. What THC stands for, I don't know. But here's the thing. They balance each other out. If you want to use marijuana, it has to have an equivalent amount of CBD, according to this gentleman. If they don't have a similar amount, an equal amount, then you're going to have a problem. THC is the component in marijuana that gets a person high. Back in the day, there used to be 1% THC in a leaf, in a marijuana joint. Today, it's upwards of 50% THC. The problem with the THC is it can cause different types of problems, and especially on a growing brain. You know, this is a perfect example of the difference between men and women. Men's brains, I think women's brains stop growing at around 18 or 19 years of age. Men's brains continue to develop up until they're 25 years of age. Okay, fine, call us slower on the uptake, fine. But whatever the case, while the brain is forming, a person does not, if a person needed THC at all, a person most certainly does not need THC while his or her brain is continuing to develop. And you see youngsters, 10, 15 years of age, using marijuana, using it up. And the unfortunate thing is, that is causing brain retardation. Sadly, there are many a brother I know whose brains are messed up as a result of the marijuana use. And that's not even to mention the psychosis that can go along with it. Family history of psychosis, wow, you've added to it. You've increased the likelihood of developing some level of psychosis by using marijuana. There most certainly are medicinal benefits, but it's only as it relates to the CBD. As we know, the THC, it mess you up. And the thing is, you have growers who are harvesting and who are developing the marijuana plant to have much more THC than CBD. And what is that doing? That's also causing individuals to go into different rages. I heard too many stories of individuals jumping off of buildings and things like that based on using that high consistency THC component of marijuana. We're going to hit you with this one last story before we cut you loose. This reporter was talking with the youngster and asking the youngster, with all this information that you know regarding vaping, are you going to stop? Her response was, the only way vaping is going to stop is when the hopelessness stops. My brother, my sister, whatever coping strategy that you put in place, you better make sure that it is healthy for you and others. Make sure that it's also hope sustaining for you and others. And make sure that it is healing for you and others. Well, that's all we got for now. This is D, and Less Stress for Life. That's what's up. Peace.